one of the things that I am trying my best to manage is this feeling that I always need to be doing something, like at every moment. Like, I'll give you an example. I was warming up my car to go pick up my son, and so I was like, okay, I'll let it warm up for like 5 minutes. And so then, instead of just like sitting there and waiting the 5 minutes, I'm like, so what could I do while I'm waiting in these 5 minutes? Like, do I scroll on my phone? Do I open up my meditation app and like kind of just sit there and breathe for 5 minutes? Which, I mean, that was like the healthier alternative, to just sit there and breathe. But the point was, and the point is that I'm like always worried that I need to be doing something. And I understand that it comes from growing up in an environment where I did always have to do something, like whether it was helping my mom with my brother, or, just how we, you got to make yourself useful. You got to clean up. You just always have to be doing something. And just coming from elders and ancestors who, like, they were like always working. Like, I remember my mom used to always just like what we call put around the house. Like, she was always like looking for something to do, something to clean. Like, she's like washing the dish. Like, she's just always moving around. And I used to be like to my mom, like, girl, sit down somewhere, But I think it's just because you're like on autopilot, because you're used to always doing something. Like, you have all these tabs open. You're like constantly multitasking. And one of the things, like, especially since I've been home on mental health leave for like 3 weeks now, like, I'm trying to like just chill out, like just allow myself to like be bored and not have anything to do. Like, it just feels weird, like not having anything to do. Even prior to making this video, like I parked and I was like, what could I do while I'm waiting for my son to get let out of school? I got about 13 more minutes left. At the time I had about 20, 25. So I'm like, what could I do? And I was gonna record a video, but like nothing was like coming to my mind. So I was like, how about you just sit your ass here and like listen to music and just like relax? So I was doing that, but then it only lasted for like 2 minutes, and then I went to Pinterest, and then like I started looking up different poses for my 40th birthday that I want to try out, because that's another thing. Like, I'm just learning how to feel comfortable within myself, and like stop acting like I'm not this beautiful, tall, long-legged goddess, and like stop playing so small, and like lean into these gifts and these talents and this this ability to create, this gift of knowing how to create art. And like, I don't know, I'm learning how to just be. I'm also learning how to just be comfortable with just looking out for me, doing things that make me happy. I'm always worried about making everybody else happy. All of my jobs that I've been in, they've always been being a service to others. Then just as a female, a woman, and growing up in a family full of women, and we have like a handful of men, like I was taught to like coddle, them, and be like very nurturing. And even to the females in my family, like I just, even though like I'm like one of the younger ones, it was kind of like I was treated like an elder. Like, I was treated more like I was up there with my mom and them in their age bracket, instead of with my cousins, my first cousins. Like, I was treated more like, an older person. And I get that. After journeying with Mother Ayahuasca, I do understand that I have been here many, many, many times over. So I can see why, that older, maternal, responsible, energy. Like, I understand that energy that I carry, but I also understand that just growing up in a household and being the oldest, and, like women, we're always like forced to just have to be caregivers, and you're always taught to put yourself on a back burner. And I am learning to put myself first. It's uncomfortable and it feels weird sometimes, but I keep trying. Like, for so many years I always felt like I was in the background. I was a background character in other people's lives, and especially like at work, being in a supervisor position. Like, sometimes I would do more than supervise. Like, I would go home I would take home a lot of the personal issues that my staff would disclose to me. And being out of work for 3 weeks, like, I feel different because I am an empath, and like a deep empath, born in February, Pisces. And I learned when I journeyed with ayahuasca, one of the guides told me, like, you feel things deeply. You take on people energy. You're a water sign, so you have to be mindful of that. So, so many things make sense now. Like years later, like it all makes sense. So I'm just learning how to be mindful with my boundaries, especially my spiritual boundaries with people. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm going to be 40 in less than a few weeks, and I am just meeting myself. And I really like her. I like her. She's very loving. She's very thoughtful. She's very kind. She's very resilient. She's very strong. She's very tough. I like her. Yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. Yeah. Wellness so far. I want to correct something. I am just meeting this version of myself. I have met many versions of myself, and all the things that I listed, I've always been those things, but I was always surrounded by people that saw that in me, and a lot of them wanted to distort how I felt about myself, because even if I didn't directly say those things about myself, you could just tell by the way that I carried myself that that's how I felt about myself. So I just want to correct that and say that I've always been those things, but now I am learning to stand in it without needing the validation of other people to tell me that I am those things.